Hey guys, I'm finally back. And to celebrate my return, I've got a little special video for you. Now you all know I like video games. My whole channel is based on video games. And this video is basically made like my top 3 most favorite game genres and their best games in that genre. Now if you're a bit like a casual gamer and you're not like me and you're like, what the hell are game genres? Game genres are like Call of Duty is a first-person shooter. First-person shooter is that game genre. Mortal Kombat is a 2D fighting game. The fighting game is the game genre. So here are my personal favorite game genres and the best games that belong to that genre. So let's kick it off, and just for starters, this isn't like a top 3 or anything, these are just my favorite 3 video game genres. And let's just kick it off with maybe my most favorite stealth games. Now the stealth genre is basically my favorite genre of all time. The stealth genre founded its roots on the NES with the classic hit Metal Gear. Metal Gear was a 2D game, but not like a side scroller like the Mario or Metroid games. Instead it had a sort of top-down view as you played the old GTA games like GTA 1 and 2. Sort of that look. Metal Gear was a game made by Konami and the genius, messed up brain of Hideo Kojima, and basically you played as this CIA operative called Snake. Now you had to invade an enemy base called Outer Heaven and take out their leader. But when you entered their base, you had nothing of a weapon but a pack of cigarettes, which you couldn't even use as a weapon. You could just smoke cigarettes and it could just drain your health. That's it. So then you're asking, I'm in an enemy fortress, what the hell do I have to do? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You sneak around, you hide in carton boxes, and you take enemies out with CQC or close quarters combat to then steal their weapons and take them the F Now Metal Gear had a sequel, Metal Gear 2, I think it was called Snake's Revenge or something, which wasn't made by Hideo Kojima. But the true origin, well, it is the true origin on the NES, but when stealth games first really came to life was on the PlayStation 1 with Metal Gear Solid. Now Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1 was a brilliant game made by, yet again, Hideo Kojima. This game also had Snake as a protagonist, but a whole different story, a real story with cutscenes, awesome characters, and even Snake was a badass. There were a ton of weapons to find, but still the game stayed true to the NES roots, which was sneaking. Damn, you could hide in carton boxes, act like you weren't in it, and then take your enemy out. It was pretty great. I played it, I loved it. I didn't understand the balls of it, which sounds real weird, the balls understanding of something, but that game was genius. Now the story, if I remember correctly, please don't hate on me if I get this wrong, but the story was centered around Snake. You once again had to invade an enemy fortress. But the game just didn't stop at invading an enemy fortress and taking out the leader. No, it was a story filled with American type storytelling and a buttload of Japanese storytelling involving clone twin brothers, Metal Gears, which are basically big ass robots, which can deploy nukes at any time, and which was why you basically had to invade the enemy fortress. A team of lethal assassins, that kind of stuff. I mean, Psycho Mantis, pretty Japanese if you ask me. Metal Gear Solid soon followed, well, not that soon, but anyway, it followed with a great sequel called Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty on the PlayStation 2. And I played this game a lot, so I know every in and out of the storyline. So basically... Okay, that was weird. Knipperkval effect. So basically, there was this prologue type of deal. You were playing as big surprise Snake once again, and you had to invade not a fortress but a tanker. A tanker from the US military storing a new Metal Gear, which, if you remember correctly, was a weapon that could deploy nukes anytime. Now the Metal Gear in Metal Gear Solid 1 was codenamed Rex. Metal Gear Rex. It was pretty badass, and the boss battle was pretty badass as well. So basically you had to invade the tanker from the US military, and Snake had set up his own like anti-Metal Gear resistance slash kind of terrorist group, and he got intel about the US military transporting a new generation of Metal Gear. Now this soon appears to be true, with this new Metal Gear codenamed Ray, Metal Gear Ray. And it had a different form than Rex. If I remember correctly, it had a railgun, but I don't know. I think it had a railgun in its mouth, but it looked pretty badass. And what basically people about Ray said that in the game also, that it was designed to be a Rex killer. So basically if Metal Gear Rex would be on the loose, they just deployed Ray to take him out. Now the minute you enter the tanker, you see it's taken over by an unknown hostile group. They soon take over Ray, and you see your twin brother Liquid Snake. He hijacks Metal Gear Ray, the tanker crashes, and Snake is believed to be dead. But that's not where it ends. Soon you get to play as a new character called Raiden. This was a character that was, if I lightly say it, not well received. Raiden was a guy, but he looked a lot, and I mean a lot, like a woman. He had long blonde hair, he had like a small posture, and he wasn't well received. People didn't want this new weird woman looking character. They want the badass that was Solid Snake. But the game turned out to be great, with actually Snake's return as Pliskin. Now this is a funny reference to a movie which name I have forgotten, but the main character is also called Snake Plissken, so that's a nice little reference there. But yeah, Snake turns out to be alive, and he is actually on the base where Raiden is. Now on that base is Metal Gear Ray, but that's not all of it. A terrorist group has kidnapped the American president, and that's basically Raiden's initial mission, to save the president. But he uncovers a big conspiracy about the Patriots, which are a shady bunch of people, and just like destroying America, destroying the world. And at the end of the game, Raiden was a badass. Now, Raiden made his return in Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, which is one of my most favorite games of all time. That game is so awesome. In Metal Gear Solid 4, you once again play as Solid frickin' Snake. But he's old, and I mean really old. Like, his life bar doesn't say Snake, it says Old Snake. So that's pretty morbid there, Kojima. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid 4 featured Old Snake. Now you might wonder, what happened? Why is Snake so old? Now, Metal Gear Solid 4 is set in the year 2014, if I remember correctly. But actually, Snake has a disease, which is too freaking complicated to explain in one video only. But basically, why Raiden is one of the most loved Metal Gear Solid characters to date is because he didn't return as the woman-looking type from 2. He was a cyber ninja. Now, if you look up cyber ninja at Google Images, you'll get the idea why Raiden is one of the most loved characters in the series. Now you might be wondering, I jumped from 2 to 4. Where the hell is 3? Metal Gear Solid 3 was a prequel to the series featuring Solid Snake's dad called Big Boss or Naked Snake. The mission was for Snake, the original Snake, like the real Snake, to invade Russia. Now that's a lot different from a simple tanker. We're talking 1960s Cold War Russia to basically save a scientist, and once again we uncover a big ass conspiracy. Now, Metal Gear Solid 3 is my most favorite game of all time. So yeah, the Metal Gear Solid series is my favorite franchise, and it also helps contribute to making the stealth genre my favorite genre of all time. I'm not here to talk all about Metal Gear Solid or stealth games in general. One awesome stealth game is Deus Ex Human Revolution, which came out in, I believe, 2011 or 2012. I could be wrong here. Look, I don't know. But basically this game featured Adam Jensen, which was a security guard enhanced with Roy. He was basically a cyborg, like he had blade arms and stuff. This game was awesome. A few mishaps like forced boss battles and the ending in particular made the game a little worse than it should be, but my god, was this game good. I mean, we're talking stabbing people with your arm blades, sneaking around, even becoming invisible at sometimes. This game featured an amazing RPG storyline, an incredible cool art style, and a badass world featuring broken Detroit. You could even go to China to uncover all the conspiracies. It's pretty badass. Go check out Deus Ex Human Revolution and the Metal Gear Solid games. Now, that was the stealth portion of my favorite game genres ever and their respective games. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think this video is getting close to like the limit on the YouTubes. But the other two favorite franchises I have are fighting games and RPGs. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit about those two. We'll kick off with fighting games, with the latest being Injustice Gods Among Us, which is an incredible cool game which features the likes of Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, the Joker, Bane, and they all go all out on each other. You get to be Superman, you get to beat up Joker's smiling face, you get to beat the Batman, you get to beat up even Superman. This game featured a huge well, not that huge, but a pretty big roster of awesome comic book superheroes and supervillains. Even the less known, like Shazam, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Deathstroke even, which was one of my favorite characters, Spammy. But yeah, you had like interactable stages, stage transitions, which mean you got 2 stages in one. Incredibly awesome super moves. Think of ramming the Batmobile in someone's crotch, and then you get a pretty good idea of what you can do in this fighting game. Made by NetherRealm Studios, this fighting game is one of my favorite to date. But NetherRealm also made Mortal Kombat 9, which is such a bloody, gory, awesome game filled with awesome finishing moves like ripping out a guy's heart, ripping out his spine and then smacking him to death with it, featuring a pretty big roster of characters. Mortal Kombat 9 was basically the reboot of the Mortal Kombat series, which was famous and known all around for its blood and gore. Now, why I love the fighting game genre is because some fighting games are pure arcadey, like beat up this guy, not a difficult combat system, but like games with the likes of Tekken Tag Tournament 2 have a pretty big and complex fighting system, which as a starter really can put you off, but as an expert player is great with tag combos, tag assists, tag moves. It was awesome. So basically why I love the fighting games is basically injustice. Like, you have all these famous characters, you can just go beat each other up. And it's even more fun when you have something like Tekken, which has a pretty long running series. And especially now with Tekken Tag Tournament 2, they bring back all the characters from the previous games. So even the less known characters get their time in the spotlight. And that's why I love the fighting games. Now, my last favorite genre are RPGs, which is short for role-playing games. Basically, if you're wondering what's an RPG, think Skyrim or Mass Effect. Now, I love the RPGs for their deep storytelling, which also was in Deus Ex Human Revolution. Deep storytelling, open world, pretty good visuals, like graphics in Mass Effect were great, in Skyrim a little less, but the longevity of the games, you could play Skyrim for 200 hours and still not be done with the game. Now, for a game like Mass Effect 3 this is a little less, but Skyrim has such a big open world. Bigger than Deus Ex Human Revolution, which hadn't that big of an open world. But basically why I love RPGs is because of the amazing storytelling and the amazing worlds. This was my video, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it if you subscribed. Like the video if of course you liked it. Leave a funny comment below and requests like what kind of video should I do. I'm working on a Minecraft commentary for those of you who like that kind of stuff, and I know there is people who like Minecraft commentaries. But yeah, I'm basically figuring out how I should do that. But yeah, if you got any more suggestions on like video game reviews I should do, or previews, you know, I'm going to Gamescom, maybe you could leave a comment telling what game I should check out on the Gamescom. Appreciate it if you watched it again. Consider subscribing. See ya.